Nyangji Chimbo, Tsudde Nyingma Yao Zong Nimolam Chimbo Ngabjeta, Bakartan Gansandu Yanmado, Tomba Tukji Chanla, Kipsha Gansar, Yondo Sanji Gandanyam Nayon, Gordon Sanji Li Janlakba, Lama Namla Zorande, Dalson Rove, Lorna Chula, Jer, Tusundungur Jindra Jajinja, Nyartome Wanke, Jela, So, Simchen Dunla, Nyurda Dakson. Tamba Namje Nimta Zardas or good evening. To be able to spend these few days here with all of you, and especially teach and speak about Buddha Dharma, and this is very nice, second time, and I would like to welcome all of you, and thank you very much for coming again. And I also would like to say thank you, Bodhicitta Sangha. Thank you, all of you. Start the Bodhicitta Sangha board member, Kelly, Kate, Colin, Jeremy. Mary is not here, right? She's coming tomorrow. Davida. And other, volunteers, all of you, thank you very much, and for all the help that you have provided to get everything ready for this residential retreat on the three principal aspects of path. And you have all come here for the retreat and to sort of meet me, and I'm very, very happy. And another thing is, it would be very good if we sort of investigate for ourselves before the teaching and meditation, what is the reason and our sort of motivation for coming here. It's very important, as you know, right? And I'm sure each of you had sort of different reasons that you want to come here. Maybe you want to come here because you want to practice, learn, study, learn this three principle. In Tibetan, we call it Lam Tzuo Namsam, which is three principal aspects of path. Very good teaching. Maybe you just want to come here, take vacation. Also, like spiritually, like a good, these spiritual activities. So I'm sure you have many different reasons, but everything is good, doesn't matter what is your reason, what is your purpose to come here. The motivation is good, especially like we investigate and why, and what is the reason. That's we do. And if you are not satisfied what you receive during this teaching, this retreat, let me know, and maybe I can help you sort of individually. If you come here, reason something like you want to learn something and that you I didn't teach or something, then let me know, and I'm more than happy to help, and I can help you like individually, because maybe I have a little bit more experience with Buddhist teachings and knowledge. But there is not much different between you and me. We are all same, and I never think I'm a special person. Never think that. So we are all same, because our minds work in the same way, and we experience the same kind of emotions and same feelings. Also, we all possess the capacity, to become a very good human being, and to make sort of our life happy, meaningful. Um, we all same, but in order to use our life meaningfully, we need teachings. We need teachings. We need experience. We need realization. So we need to study. We need to practice. Teachings means being sort of showing the path, and being given the transmission, very important, right? And then we apply that, and we follow that path, and we try to have realization. And to have a realization, we need a good path. We need a good path, and then we need to follow that path in the correct way, because otherwise, we could not have realization if we don't follow the path. We don't have the correct path. So maybe that's why we're here. We're looking for sort of this transmission and correct path. So I can share this transmission with all of you. I have very good, transmission from my teachers, but I will talk about that tomorrow. And the thing is, we have to practice. If we don't practice, then it will be difficult to achieve. And without practice, we will be separate from Buddha Dharma, from this path, and we will take sort of the just like ordinary path. Teachers say if you don't eat when you need food, then your stomach is always empty, and there's no food in your stomach. So therefore, the thing is very important to practice. I sort of understand, I realize that more and more, the practice is very important. And what I will say tonight is not going to be part of our main teachings, but instead it is just, I'm very happy to see all of you, and welcome, and kind of speech, welcoming speech, kind of, it's also like it's just preparation, we can say, right? Preparation for the retreat. So we are ready for the main teachings, which will come tomorrow. And I just want to, welcome you all. And I want to explain what will happen during the retreat. And I also, set up our motivation together tonight. That's very important, because whether good or not, this retreat, it depends on our motivation, right? So But before that, first let's go over the schedule a little bit. If you want to know specific times, you can um, look at the schedule sheet that you all have. But this retreat will be held for 5 days, right? Include today. I mean, beginning tonight and then ending on Monday morning after breakfast. And every morning there will be time for an optional meditation session. If you want, you can join, and or you can, practice individually if you want in your room in the every morning. That's just fine. If you do want to practice together, then you can come and do your practice individually. Even though you're here, you can practice individually. Or if you want practice together, then I will give you the instruction for meditation. So it would be like this. You have, if you want, you can say like the opening prayers 3 times, because it helps you correct your motivation. When you say the prayer, it helps you, remind you. Opening prayers. And then we have, if you want, Heart Sutra. Then you have the Treasury of Blessing, practice of Buddha Shakyamuni. That's in your there. So that's the main sort of practice every morning. Okay, so you can say opening prayer 3 times, and then Heart Sutra if you want. Say Heart Sutra, and then practice the Treasury of Blessing, practice of Buddha Shakyamuni, and you say that very slowly, because you have to understand the visualizations and everything. It's very clear in the text, so if you say recite very slowly, then you will know the visualization, everything that. So you say that together, and then you will recite the mantra as many times as you want. Tayata Om Mani Mani Maha Manai. So that one you can say together, you can say individually, whatever. So as much as you want, you can say the mantra. And then after the mantra, then there is a kind of dissolution, at the end of the mantra. Then you meditate right there, okay? You meditate right there. This will be like almost 1 hour meditation. So after the mantra, and then you meditate there, okay? Meditate there. So how do it? So this is kind of like a shamatha meditation, but your object, will be Buddha Shakyamuni, okay? So we have done this before. Probably you know this, but look at Buddha's heart, look at Buddha's heart center. So we have Buddha's Tanka, beautiful there. So you just, or you have the picture, with the text. So you can put that in front of you, and then you just look at Buddha's heart center with both your eyes, and at the same time also bring your mind to his heart center. Make sure that you're looking at his heart center, but your mind is wandering. That's not good, right? So bring your mind there, and then just that's all. Try to not try not to let any any thoughts, come into your mind because of this object. So now you have object, so you just focus on that. So, and if your thoughts or whatever arise rest your mind again, rest mind again. Remember the rest in mind, and then continually resting, right? So you need this kind of instruction. So, which means don't follow your thoughts, okay? Don't follow your thoughts, and try not to follow your thoughts. Just look and focus on Buddha's heart center, and do not think anything. Just focus on his heart center, because this is uh, very important, because in the the benefit of this practice is said in the Samadha Raja Sutra, Buddha Shakyamuni. It says those who recollect the moon like Buddha while walking, sitting, standing, or sleeping will always be in the Buddha's presence and will attain vast liberation. Okay, and this is the benefit of this practice, because then you have no thoughts. You just only have one thought, which is Buddha, in your mind. So then the negative thoughts, all these are stopped. So therefore, this is that's why I said it will you will attain a vast liberation, and Buddha is presence, because you focus on that. So so then you practice on that, meditate on that as much as you can. Then so that is the kind of main practice every morning, if you want. Or if you want to practice something else, it's up to you, okay? But if you want to practice this is just, I think, very, very, my teacher always told us, this is very important practice. This is, like you focus on Buddha. As a Buddhist, practitioner, this is very important. And then when you're done, then you dedicate, right? So closing, nothing but closing your prayers, the closing prayers. You say the closing prayers. And I just give you tonight this instruction because I will not lead this, but instead I want you to have time to do your own practice, okay? And that's morning. Then after breakfast, we will have two sections of teachings and meditation, all right, just like we do all the time. And then we will have lunch after the third teaching and meditation after lunch. And after that, we will have an optional yoga. Three teachers here, thank you. Kelly and Pam, and then Nancy. There you go. So we have 3 days, so three afternoons. If you want, then because we did it last time, it's very, I think, very, my from my experience, just sit and meditate is not so healthy. I mean, mentally, of course, yes, but physically, we need body. Our body needs move. That's for sure. So I think this will help you. So therefore, if you do want to, we have a yoga class. So after lunch. After the teaching, the third teaching meditation, and then after that, of course, we will have dinner, and then we have the last section. I will lead both the Vajrasattva practice, and after that, the prayer of Samandabhata. So this will be this is going to be very short section probably, and that's all. and then that's every day. And except on Sunday, this will be this last section will be blessing and dedication of marriage ceremony instead. And then of course Monday morning, same thing. We will have our morning meditation, and then breakfast, and then retreat will end. So that's kind of very briefly, the schedule. And another thing is we need to talk about is silence, right? Because many students, have requested that this retreat will be silent for part of the day, because of that we are going to have silence every day until the yoga section. Okay, so we did that last day and people really loved it. So we'll do that, and you should be silent as best as you can, but if you need help, of course, then you can ask, we can talk, no problem at all. There's no kind of samaya, so we can do that. And what is most important is not to talk sort of negatively. That's the thing, that's the reason, keep silent. But that's very good. And then during the teaching and meditation, we will not have any question, right? Question and answer. But if you have any question, then you can write down on piece of paper, and then I will read it and give the answer as much as I can. If you want, we can do that. And if something is unclear, then we should have an interview. Actually, I have interview also during the lunch time. If you want, if you have, we can discuss. And if something is unclear or you have another question, so I have an interview, and we can discuss then. That's that. And then now about motivation. Let's talk about little bit talk about motivation. As you know, it is very important to make sure that our motivation is correct. That's the thing. And we should really understand that we are so fortunate to have this precious time and precious human life in which we have the opportunity to practice. So when we practice, we need good practice, which is, our motivation. So we need to make sure that these teachings and meditation are beneficial for everybody, ourselves, and also for others who are not here with us during this retreat. That's why I'm saying, the motivation, with this kind of motivation, one day we will be able to successfully help others. If we right now, if we develop our correct and develop our motivation, and then one day for sure we can help others. And so therefore, the teachings of Buddha always say that, we possess the what do you call it, enlightened essence, right? Which is Buddha nature. We call it Buddha nature. For that reason, to have a pure motivation is important. And make sure that we remember the three spring methods, right? So these are the setting your motivation, and maintain concentration, and then dedicating, right? When we are finished, motivation is connected with our mind, our intention, our thoughts, right? It's important to have. That's why it's also connect with our energies. That's why it's important to have a pure motivation. Second of all, it is very important to have a mind free from misconception, which means to practice, try to, practice without distraction, and practice without sort of losing focus. Uh, if we let sort of our thoughts come and follow them, then they destroy, our inner peace and concentration, and then we will lose our practice. So then not so much, not meaningful, our practice, so therefore the second, practice without distraction is very important. It's a little bit difficult, right? But it's important to remember, and so we should try to practice with a concentrated mind. Okay, but concentrated mind doesn't mean like too tight, but be gentle and sort of peaceful. And then finally, when we have done anything that is positive, that is good, that is pleasant, that is happiness, we should dedicate. We should dedicate for the sake of all beings, okay? Because there are so many people, or beings are suffering. So therefore, we should dedicate for all of them. And for example, when we are very happy, we should recognize it, and then we should dedicate it for others. Then our happiness will not be wasted, right? So we did something, Otherwise, I'm so happy today, so you don't think about others and dedicate that for others, then kind of happiness is just gone, right? Wasted. So, we should remember all of that, So these three, we call these three excellent methods. They called excellent methods. These are very important to remember when we practice, when we meditate, when we listen teaching, all the time. That's why they call three excellent methods. As a group, as an individual, whatever, whenever you do something good, these three always we have to remember. So that's very important. And another important thing to understand is in order to practice Dharma, we have to know the value, the benefit of practicing the Dharma. Okay? Because we are very fortunate, we're very fortunate. We have these opportunities, and we have this great path, and without path, our lives are kind of empty. You know, Even though we have everything, right? But something is missing. Something is missing. So, which is great path. So that's why we have great path. That's why I said we're very fortunate. Um, so and when we study, when we listen teaching in general, the Buddhist teachings are very profound, so we cannot learn um, all of them, but we have to find something in Dharma that is sort of necessary in life, for life. um, that's why I think the three principle aspect of path, this teaching is very important, and I will explain you as much as I can. And uh, and also I think, usually like a spiritual group practice is very beneficial because it sort of gives you can help each other. It gives you a good energy. And it doesn't matter whether or not we receive all the realizations of these three principal aspects of path, realizations of emptiness, realization, bodhicitta, renunciation. It's just enough that we are trying to control our minds and trying to sort of purify, our negative thoughts. Uh, uh, so therefore, don't think too much. Expectations. Just try to let go. That it's just enough. Just be here. Really good. It's just fundamentally it's positive. Be here. And whether or not you have all the realizations, that's not the point. The point is we're here. That's good with a great motivation and try to purify, our negative thoughts. That's just good, and uh, you are very comfortable, and because many of you have sort of practiced Dharma for a long time, right? And maybe some are just a beginner, but many of you, So I think therefore, we should check. I think sometimes it's very helpful to investigate ourselves. I do that, like so many years now. What I'm doing, and my practice, like we should, a little bit investigate because we have, practiced Dharma for a long time. So now we should, it's very helpful to investigate yourself, ourselves, and how you're doing with your practice. Do you need help? Do you need different sort of instructions for your practice, or you're doing just fine, or whatever? Just investigate. And so therefore, these are great teaching. This generally for a good foundation is so important, right? As a Buddhist practitioners, foundation is the thing, important. That's why, Buddha himself, suggested that everybody should practice these three principles, so that this teaching makes our mind kind of peaceful, open, and then we will understand the purpose of our lives. So therefore, Buddha, suggested it because he discovered a profound meditation and realization through these three principles. Okay? So that's all. That's, so tonight, just I'm very happy to see all of you and just remind you the motivation and which is this three spring method. So we should this is our preparation. Other than, everything is good, everything is prepared very well. Thank you very much. And that's all for tonight. Also, if you don't mind, like today is 10th, Pammasambhava's day, in according to Tibetan calendar. So which is this month is very important, Sagadava, This month is Buddha Shakyamuni himself, the birth, 7th, right? And then the enlightenment, and then the parinirvana. So these three important time. So it's this month. So what I'm trying to say is that if you don't mind, if you're not too tired today, we can say in Bodhisattva the 6-syllable mantra, just 100 mala, if you don't mind, because it's very important day. Generally, we don't have practice this evening, this tonight, but I think we should not waste. Today is, the 10th of Pamasambhawa's day and Sagadawa, and in Tibet, the Larung Monastery, which is the largest monastery in Tibet, in Nepal, in India. Okay, so which is my second root teacher's monastery, Khenchen Jigmé Phuntsok. What they're doing is this saga. I think they start yesterday. I think so. For 8 days, they practice Vajrasattva, which is the 6-syllable, not 100-syllable mantra. Thousands of people gathered together, and then many monks, many Khambos, many Turkus, lamas get together. Thousands of people there right now. They practice together. So we have like 4 nights here. So each night we meditate Vajrasattva. So if you bring your mala, you should count, okay? So then we collect together and give me your number, and I will tell them, and they can dedicate. They will bring all together and dedicate for all beings, So that will be very wonderful. So you should count, not just, so count, and then we, at the end, the last day, we can count together, and then I will let them know, and then they dedicate. So there are thousands of monks and, lamas together practice. Very powerful. I think that's why we should do that for tonight. And so that's kind of, I've given you some general opening sort of comments about Buddhism and how to set up our motivation, that world. So this will, I hope, help your practice and the preparation. And if you have any question, let me know. And now maybe we have other people have some announcement to share. So I will let you talk, and then after that we can start practicing Bodhisattva short time. Okay.